But so who do you want to go against, Tom? Who do you want to talk to? Did you see that William Shatner tweeted me out the other day?
No.
Yeah. William Shatner tweeted me out, which was nice. I might have. Should I tell you guys this? I don't know.
Yeah, tell us, man. What cool?
Chupacabra, you're just trying to get me to spill my guts, aren't you?
I'm not gonna go telling anybody. I just hang out with.
Oh, I do have one other. I do have one other beef.
Tom's hanging out. Tom records everything. This all goes on his channel.
But...
You know that, right?
Oh, just Steve, I have one other beef with your something you said concerning the wasp.
Oh.
Let me try and remember exactly what it was, because I was watching a video.
You sound really convincing. You gotta remember.
I was watching a video. I was watching a video of Nate Brody's, and Nate Brody did this video about anti-wasp.
The most dishonest lawyer on the internet.
Well, I wouldn't agree with that.
The most dishonest. Oh fuck, dude. He literally, straight up, he literally has told me years ago. He totally believes 100% that I'm right in all this, but he was told that he needs to fight me, quote, to the death, because people wanted views out of it.
I mean, the title internet lawyer. Internet lawyer is sus right there.
I mean, I think
I have him literally. I have him telling me this, Tom. I have it in emails. He literally told me this, so it's not. I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's probably
literally told me.
I think he's probably actually changed his mind, but that's neither here nor there. I don't have any.
No, he actually he knows I'm right. Alex Malpass, who I know you respect, and Bert Poole, who I know you respect, both shat on him and told him his logic is fucking wrong. So you're not going to tell me that Nate Brody knows more about logic than Bert Poole and Alex Malpass, are you? Because that would be odd.
Well, this doesn't look. No, I'm not going to. But I mean, look. Let me just say what I'm going to say. I think because in that video, if I remember correctly, Nate Brody was making a case about, in regards to the proposition that the majority usage of the word atheism is
majority where
in academia.
No, it's not. My usage is majority in academia. I can 100 papers to 1. You know that. Come on.
Well, he had a citation. Whatever your citation.
He had a citation. Okay. Well, I have numerous citations from papers I actually read that he has not.
Yeah, but here's the problem, right? So, in order to combat that argument, you cited the WASP argument.
No,
I'm pretty sure you did. You said I proved it to Nate with the WASP argument.
My WASP argument, you're very confused here, Tom. My WASP argument, an argument based upon if you accept one logical condition, the other logical condition must be available, or else it is special pleading. My other arguments, which is the normativity, which I mean as in not prescriptive, but I mean the common usage found in academia of the usage of the word atheism in literature, is the belief that God does not exist. I have 10 to 1 papers on that, from everything from Burgess Jackson, Draper, Malik, Armstrong. There's numerous papers on that.
On what exactly? On what proposition?
That the standard usage of the term atheism, if you want to go read a paper and see the word atheism, it is used in the context of the belief that God does not exist.
Okay.
In almost every paper.
Well, so you're saying that just there are papers that deal with the topic of atheism, and in those papers, their usage is your usage. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Right.
Very few exceptions, and the only few exceptions are opinion pieces. Boulevant, 2017, which was with what's in the Oxford Handbook of Atheism. Flew, 1972, which was completely destroyed by Garvey in 2017 by the rethinking of the presumption of atheism. Martin, who actually I think, changed his position quite toward his end. He's died, but
well, I
toward his,
don't
last
I
days,
don't
he
know
changed
why in the video that I watched about this you appealed to the wasp argument, because that would have nothing to do with this claim.
because Nate Brody is the most disingenuous, dishonest, Frankenstein cutting motherfucker I've ever met in my life.
What does that have to do with anything, though? Look, I don't care about any of that stuff. I'm just saying that, like, with
wasp has nothing to do with that. Why would he use my wasp argument? Oh, because we're being dishonest.
No, like,
because I left him a comment.
You were doing a commentary on his video or something like that, and like he was making claims about the common usage of atheism, and
The common usage where? The common
in
usage
academia.
Where? Okay, so what is the common usage in academia then?
Well, he claimed that it was like it was actually a widely contested issue, and there really isn't some sort of standard accepted usage.
I never argued there was a standard, but I argued, even though Cambridge does say there's a standard, the Cambridge does say that.
I thought you were saying that there is a majority usage.
The majority usage would be how many papers do you have that argue with using it one way as opposed to using it a different way? I can tell you right now, it is 99% probably to 1.
All right, well, that would be a standard usage then.
Right, I agree.
So you're making a claim to a standard usage, right? So I don't know how you support. I don't know how you would possibly.
Let me finish, because you're not going to let me. You're not going to do this to me. I've never said there is an official standard usage. That's what his argument was trying to be. His argument was, oh, wait, Steve's saying there's some kind of official standard usage. There's a consensus. No, I never said that. Matter of fact, Bulifant in 2017 in the Oxford Handbook of Atheism makes it very clear there's no standard usage. There's no definitive term.
Now I'm just getting confused, because I thought your claim was that there's a
because you did to him, not me. And my argument has never changed. If you go to my blog, my argument has been very consistent.
I'm just appealing to what you've said right now. I thought I heard you say that it is your opinion that there is a
very clear.
Look,
there's not an official standard. There's no official standard. There's no consensus.
Right, but
this is Bulifant 2017. Now let me ask you this: if I had 100 papers,
look, Steve, man, look, I'm letting you finish. You're not letting me finish. I thought that I heard you say that it's your opinion that there is a 90% usage in academia on the definition of atheism. Is that correct?
As far as the uses of papers, absolutely. If you took 100 papers, Tom, 100 papers on atheism, out of those 100 papers, well over 90% are going to use the term atheism in the way I use over the lack of belief. Do you agree with that?
Well, I'm agnostic to that. I haven't seen that, but
okay. Well, then go look at it. Go read papers on it. Tell me how many you find that use it in the lack of belief as opposed to the positive case.
Yeah, but that wouldn't support your burden of your claim.
My argument is that most papers use it in the positive case. Absolutely, it was. Take a sample.
Is 100 papers most of the papers with that?
Take a sample. Do whatever you want. Take as many as you want. Look.
Well, that's not my job. That would be your job, because you're making that claim. I'm not going to do any sample stuff.
Go to my blog. Then don't need to go to my blog. My blog has dozens of papers on it that use it this way. I can't find one that uses it in any other way. If you can find one that uses it the other way, let me know. The only papers that even come close was their opinion pieces or flu. The presumption.
If I find 5 papers,
you're interrupting me, Tom. The presumption of atheism in 1972. He tries to argue that it should be used in the negative case, but he also admits that in academia it is normative to be the positive case. Even Flew argues this. Martin recognizes this. The only one that doesn't is Bulifant in the Oxford Handbook of Atheism. So I tell you what, if you think that I'm wrong, go find, just pick 20 papers on atheism. Find out how many of those papers use atheism in the negative sense, vice the positive sense, and let me know, because all the papers I have found use in the positive sense. Why is that?
Are you done?
Yes.
Okay. I don't have, like I said, I don't have a position on this. My whole point is that if you're going to appeal to X number of papers to substantiate the claim that the majority usage of this word in academia is your usage, then that's not going to be fleshed out by appealing to 10 or 100 papers unless that is the entire set of papers.
No, that's not how statistics work. You don't have to count every fucking paper. You only take a random sampling. That's that. Come on, you took statistics. I know you know this. 2,400. Right. If you get over 2,400 samples from a 10,000 source is enough to determine whether that it is the case or not, right? I mean, so take your sample size, go find some papers, take a random sampling, or I don't even care if it's random or not. Find some papers, tell me which ones use atheism in the negative case, and let me know. Because as of right now, I've never found one, not one. Again, I found papers that argued for it, like Martin, Flew, Smith, and Bullivant, but they don't use it that way. They argue for it. Find me a paper that uses it. Like if you go look at Burgess Jackson's page, and you're thinking the presumption of atheism, you go look at P.K. Mosier's paper. He uses simple atheism as the belief that God does not exist. Find me a paper that uses it differently, and how many that you took to find it, and then you get a good idea. Do that.
Well, yeah, you'd get an idea. But anyway, like the point is that what made me bring this up.
How many papers you read on it, Bob?
Huh?
How many papers have you read on atheism?
0.
Okay, so you don't have a really good sampling of this, do you?
I don't have a sampling.
Oh, there you go. I do. I've read these papers, and I'm not just bullshitting. Actually read these papers.
Look, I don't just. I believe you, right? I'm just saying that.
I know you do, but here's the thing. I'm telling you, I've not found any paper that have used it in the negative sense. Why is that? If you think that I'm incorrect on that, then all you gotta do is go find papers and use it in the negative sense. Go, look, Steve, I found 1,000 papers that use it in the negative sense. Out of 10,000 papers.
Well, yeah. So how many papers are out there about atheism?
Well, I can tell you right now, in my sampling, the dozens that I have, all of them using the positive case. So that's a pretty good representative sample. Now, again,
it's only a good representation if it's a good number that's relative to 100, right? I'm asking you how many papers are out there. There's a million papers out there on atheism, and you're saying I have 100 that I've verified, so therefore I have a good sample size. You don't.
Couple thousand is pretty representative. Again, then sure, it should be easy to show me wrong, right? Let's say, Steve, I have 20 papers to show you wrong. Go ahead. Well, has anybody done that? No.
Look,
why haven't they?
I mean, the reason I brought this up is because the video that I watched, right? This is an empirical claim, and it's going to be settled empirically. So my question,
and all you gotta do is disprove me. Go ahead, empirically disprove me.
My question was, what does the wasp argument have to do with this?
I have no idea. Why would you ask me that? It's not my video.
Because you appealed to the wasp argument. You said
I did.
You were contesting this claim about the usage, and then you said, I've shown him the wasp argument. He agrees with it, as if that had some kind of relevance to like what the usage is in academia.
You're bringing up somebody who does Frankenstein cuts, who takes random things and sticks.
No, this was your video.
No, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. My wasp argument is very clear. The wasp argument is the argument that if you accept the negative case for one, you must accept the negative case for the other, or allow somebody to use it. That's a special pleading. It has nothing to do with the usage, the normative usage in academia. They're unrelated, man. So I don't know what the hell you watched, but it wasn't one of my videos.
Oh, it was.
Go ahead.
I mean, so just to be clear, if there was a video that like that what I described happened in it, right? That would just be completely it would just be it would be completely unrelated, and by your own admission, completely irrelevant to Nate Brody's claim about the usage of atheism in academia if you brought up the wasp argument.
Nate Brody has no idea what he's talking about. So if you find anything, just send it to me and I'll comment on it. That's all. Because Nate Brody has no idea about this stuff, and you know that. I mean, even Alex Malpass said he was inept. Come on.
I mean, I don't think that he's completely inept. No, I don't.
Really, the guy that thought that double negation. I mean, the guy that thought that heretic was right. He didn't understand the scope fallacy because Bert Poole had explained to him the scope fallacy that he was making. And I have actually in writing Bert Poole telling me that heretic was wrong, that Ozzy and I were right. I have this in writing, dude.
Look, I don't have like your.
I have it in writing, Tom.
Look,
Nate Brody doesn't know what the hell he's talking.
Look, I mean, look, I believe. Well, I don't actually know if I believe you think that, because there's going to be a lot of people in your social sphere that are going to be just as competent as Nate Brody logically, or less competent. And I don't think that you're. And I don't think that you're going to be comfortable. I just don't think you're going to be. I don't think you're going to be comfortable saying something like Cheshire is inept. Right? You're not going to say that.
In logic, I don't know what her thing is logic, but I can tell you right now, one person.
And if you weren't, and if you think Nate Brody is inept, and Cheshire is of equal or lesser skill, and you don't levy the charge at Cheshire that she's inept, you're special pleading. How's that for a wasp?
Do you think, name one person who has looked at Nate Brody's videos that says correct? Can you name me one philosophical person, please?
I don't really know many people who watch.
Find me one that does. Find me one that does, and let me talk to them. How about that, Tom? Do you agree with that? Find me one person has ever watched a Nate Brody video, because you know Alex Malpass shits on him. You know he doesn't think that he.
I don't think Alex Malpass shits on him. No, I don't.
Oh, really? Then you haven't been looking at the last 5 years, because he has. Trust me on that. And Bert Poole shit on him on my live stream. And said he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about.
And with regards to what? Analysis of WASP?
No. It wasn't specifically the WASP. No, it wasn't WASP. But it was basically what he was pontificating upon as far as the atheist and agnostic stuff. But no,
look, I just don't see like why you would want to like put words in someone's mouth like that. Because if I approach like Alex Malpass and I say, hey, do you think Nate Brody is shit?
Nate Brody? Ask him. Yeah, please do. And let me know what he says.
You think Alex is just going to be like, yeah, he's shit?
I kind of think that he would. I know he has to me. I don't know if he's going to tell you, but
yeah, but like if you think that he would, why would you like take the liberty to just like put words in his mouth?
I'm not. I'm telling you outright. But go find out for yourself.
You literally said, go ask him, you know?
Go ask him. Right.
And then you said you think he'll say that. Want to go ask him? And then you said that he has.
I think that he would. I think he'd be honest. He has. I'm telling you that.
I don't think Alex is interested in that sort of like interpersonal drama.
That's fine. Then maybe he wouldn't tell you.
I don't think Bert Poole really is either.
Well, you'd be surprised. But anyways, irrelevant. How about this? I'll leave it with this with you, Tom. Mm-hmm. You find me any philosopher, right, theist or atheist, that thinks that Nate Brody has a valid argument against what I've had. Any one of them, you have them contact me, and I will have them on my channel. Is that deal? And I mean, and I don't mean a contrarian. I don't mean a contrarian. Don't bring me in fucking realistic nihilist, for God's sake. Okay, somebody who actually holds that Nate Brody has a good argument. Have him come on. I'll bring him on my channel. I'll give him my word. Is that cool?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not really.
All right.
I don't even have any in mind.
Do you have any idea?
No. Or
I mean, think about somebody, because I know Jack won't. Jack, yeah, I know Jack won't.
I mean, with regards,
how's he doing?
Same.
That's good. Right, well, at least we have a mutual understanding. Like I said, all you have to do is find somebody that is of a philosophical person that thinks that he has good arguments, and I'll be happy to have a conversation with that person, because nobody I know ever has. And you will admit this, I hope, that I got my pulse in the philosophical community, right? You at least give me that much.
I mean, I'm just not really knowledgeable about that. I mean, that's not like I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean,
Well,
if you say so, then I'd be perfectly fine to tentatively accept that. That's fine.
I'll give you a look up project,
I'm
right?
just being
I
honest.
mean,
Like I
I
don't know the like ins and outs of your community very well. I
don't know
I
yours
actually
very
know very little about it. But let me
yeah,
ask
and
you
vice
this
versa.
let me ask you this in closing, right?
Mhm.
Do you think that Cheshire is inept philosophically?
I don't think she's inept, but I don't think she goes out of her way to make really profound logical philosophical arguments. I think she's very good at learning stuff. If I give her a philosophical concept, she can pick it up really quickly, which to me is not a sign of ineptness. Nate Brody is inept because he cannot learn, right? He cannot understand new concepts. So I would not say that Cheshire is inept because if I wanted to explain to her something,
according to you, Cheshire exceeds Nate Brody's philosophical competence level.
Yes, absolutely, without any question about that. I mean, I have her on my show for Caffeine Corner. I mean, you can listen to her talk. Do you listen to Caffeine Corner?
No.
Then yeah. So you really
Well, I
don't have a
mean,
reference, do you?
I've like clicked it and I listened for a little bit, but
No.
it's
Listen for longer. Cheshire can do really well in philosophical stuff. She picks
so
up things
here's my
extremely well.
question. Here's my question to you, Steve. And I would think you'd be interested, but how do we test it?
I don't care to. Well, let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think I'm inept in philosophy?
No.
Okay, so you think that I think I've demonstrated the last probably 5 years of my life talking to Graham Oppie, Alex Malpass, and numerous other philosophers, Josh Rasmussen.
Well, you don't have to name drop with me. I get it. I accept that you're not inept at philosophy, you know. But
I at least raised my level. By the way, you know me back when where that wasn't the case. You could probably, I mean, you could be honest. 5 years ago, if you said, "Hey, Steve, you were not fucking well read in philosophy," and you would have been right, right? I mean, back in Nadia's days.
I mean, I don't care about like person's power level rankings through Dragon Ball Z sagas and stuff like that. But I actually think that
a long way in 5 years.
I actually think that it's probably the case that Nate Brody is more philosophically competent than Cheshire, and due to a social commitment, I think that you're special pleading yourself.
That's not special pleading. Special pleading has been exclusive without justification.
Yeah, I don't think you have to just.
He's gotten so many things wrong. It's ridiculous. You got to remember, he was the person that said I didn't even have a business partnership with Cox.
I could point to many things that Cheshire has gotten wrong. Very, very simple.
You take it up with her. I'm not Cheshire's keeper. You think Cheshire's inept? Go fucking argue with her. I don't give a shit.
No. I think you do.
Do what?
I think you think she's inept because I think that's an entailment of you thinking that Nate Brody is inept.
No, Nate Brody is inept. He's demonstrated it. I've never seen Chesh demonstrate it to me.
Well, I've seen her make rudimentary mistakes.
Like what? Well, that might be true, but like what though?
Let's see. Off the top of my head, there was an instance where I think the quote was, I think you were talking about Nate Brody, and then she said, and you said that X was proven to Nate Brody, and then, well, I think the quote of hers was, if X was proven to them, then they would believe it. And that's just silly.
I don't recall anything like that. Because obviously you can prove something to somebody. Like I can prove to you that 0.99 repeating equals 1, but that doesn't mean you have a dysastic attitude toward it that you believe it clearly, right?
Right, but Steve, that happened. Yeah.
Well,
that happened, and you were right there. But I mean, like, I just don't think that. I mean, due to social commitments, that you're going to point out ineptness in Cheshire. I think you're going to overlook it, right? And that's perfectly normal. But I mean, that's.
I don't know. Look, if that was the case, I would point it out to her and I would correct her. I've done it numerous times on air. We got a major kerfluffle over something that I corrected on on air. So I have no problem pointing something out. So that bias that you think it exists does not.
I absolutely think it exists. But by the way, I think it's very normal for it to exist. But I just don't think that you should just like try and like, poop on Nate Brody when, I mean,
well, I'll tell you what, like I said, you take a poll of the philosophy people out there, you think that find Nate Brody to be philosophically sound, find me one that does, and will you let me know who that is? And I will reach out to them. Will you do that for me?
I don't even know what that means, philosophically sound. I mean, what does that mean?
Find me.
Is there like a standardized test on philosophy that we're gonna have him take or something?
Just find me one that has a subjective opinion. Let me ask you this: do you think T-Jump is pretty good at philosophy?
I think he has many of the broad strokes, but there are huge canyons in his philosophy, and they create immense problems that I think he is probably completely unaware of.
I'm not going to disagree with you on that. Do you think Jack Angstreich knows philosophy?
Yeah.
Okay. We both agree upon that. Do you think that Graham Oppie knows philosophy?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Probably the guy's one of the greatest. I love Graham Oppie. I'm a huge fan. So we'll go with yes on that one. Okay. Do you think Darren's deity knows philosophy?
I think
this is actually a pretty good question.
Yeah, I wouldn't call him inept. I think he makes a lot of mistakes that are primarily motivated by like his Christianity and stuff. But
and that's a good point, by the way. I'm actually not going to disagree with you on that. I think Darwin's deity knows a lot more than he
look, my goal is to try and combat these inherent biases that we all are going to have a proclivity to engage in these things, like these biases, right? And look, even if I don't like someone, even if someone's done me wrong, right? I don't want to be the guy who look, this is the example I always use, right? You see a pretty girl, right? You like her, and you say to your friend, "Oh, she's so pretty. She's so smart. She's so fun. She's so perfect," right? And then you go ask her out, and she says, "Get lost," right? And then you go back to your friend and say, "Man, she wasn't pretty. She wasn't fucking smart. She wasn't fun. She sucked," right?
I never had that happen, so I don't know. That's news.
Well, I mean, that's kind of an extreme case.
I don't hold my eyes for that. Look, there are people out there that
it is very common for people's opinions on other people to turn just because of something like that, right? That doesn't do now.
There are people out there
because somebody said that you're stinky, Steve. Did they actually get dumber or something like that, or like somehow inept? No, probably not, right? But if you think that like you're not affected by these biases, then you're probably just delusional.
There are people that I do not like, and they make a good argument. I will say they make a good argument. These biases, what you say that everybody has, people of course have them. It's how that you deal with them.
Yes,
I have a very good way of dealing with my bias. Yes, I have a very good way with dealing with my biases. I step out of my own point of view, and I say objectively, from an outside frame of reference, from a reasonable man standard, where this argument makes sense. It is something that would be the case. And I do this quite frequently. You know, I like ethics, right? So you know, I'm quite capable of doing this.
Yeah, but I think I think you could. I think that you could. Look, man, I would be willing to make a bet if you come up with some sort of philosophy Pepsi challenge, and we have Nate Brody and Cheshire take it. I'm gonna put my money on Nate Brody every single fucking time. All right.
You're more than welcome to do that. I don't give a shit one way or another. I'm not here to be Cheshire's defender or Nate Brody's crucifier.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if that's the case, and I'm right, then you are being you are not able to overcome. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'd love to test it.
Okay. I don't give a shit one way or another, man. I'm not. Why would I give a fuck, dude? I do not give a fuck, straight up. It makes no difference
Why
to me.
wouldn't
I can
you?
tell you right now. That Bert Pohl in multiple videos showed that Nate Brody didn't know what the fuck he was talking about in basic logic. He didn't understand scope. He did, and finally, Nate Brody did finally get it, and he wrote me saying, "You're exactly right. Bert Pohl is right. Ozymandias is right, who I know
But
you
you and
respect."
I both know if we start probing Cheshire, we're gonna find
And like I
some
said,
basic problems that she doesn't
whatever,
understand.
knock yourself out. Do it. Why does that fucking have to do with me? I'm not Cheshire's keeper. She's not my.
Yeah, but you're the one
She's
that's making claims that like she's more
I think
philosophically.
I think she is. If she's not, go ahead, prove it wrong. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a damn one way or another, man. Why the hell do I care? Why do I care if Cheshire is more
Well, I thought
philosophical
you had a desire and a goal to have like integrity and to not be subject to these biases to where it does actually affect your judgment.
Absolutely integritous. But
right. I mean, so if I were to point out, if I'm correct, right, I think you would care because then you have an instance in which bias has influenced you.
You got to remember there are personal things with Nate Brody that she probably would never do that with because of personal things that have gone on. But if it wasn't for those personal things, very personal behind the scene things, she might actually take you up on that. It'd be very interesting. I wouldn't recommend it, but that's up to her. I don't
look. I'm not. I mean, it's just I don't look. If I'm probed, I'm gonna have problems too, right? I mean, but I just don't like. I just don't like the idea of people saying like, "Oh, this person's a fucking idiot because of this." But I mean, like, you're pointing to like specific situations and making some sort of generalization about like just like person's inept, and I just
go watch
the whole
video. Go watch Bert's video on Nate Brody. He pointed out extremely logical misconceptions that he had.
Yeah, but then there's another problem because one of the first things that you told me was that his illogical opposition to your wasp argument wasn't even motivated by his genuine belief, right? But you're going to hold that against him probably in regards to his philosophical competence, right?
No, I've never seen him address my wasp argument, so I don't know what the fuck you're referring to. If he has a video on my wasp argument, I've never seen it. So,
well, I think he had.
I don't watch any of this shit for the last year and a half. Not a single video of his. So if he has anything on my wasp argument, I've never.
Well,
seen
that's
it,
not true. That's definitely not true.
What have I watched in the last? The only thing I've watched was the one video that he had with Kyle's hearing, and I was only partial. But I've never sat through an entire video of him. I've watched bits and pieces. But the last video I watched of his only when he had the court case live because Reg was having some issues, and I wanted to because he didn't have the video.
I think
I don't watch Nate's shit.
I think all of I think a lot of the videos that I've seen about with regards to legal matters are quite well done. You don't think so?
I've seen it. This is argument on WASP.
Well, you made claims that like he's like a bad lawyer and stuff. So like, how would he be able to? You must think he's not actually making good videos about law if he's a bad lawyer, right?
Show me his video. Show me his video when he tried to take on my WASP argument because I don't recall any such thing. So what video was this?
Well, yeah, he was, to be more precise, he was like critiquing the atheism, theism definition stuff. And that's maybe WASP. Not specifically WASP, yeah.
You said it was WASP argument. Are you now retracting that? Because I don't recall him ever making an argument against my WASP argument like you claimed. Are you retracting that now?
I thought it was. I mean, I can go look at it again.
Well, you're mistaken.
I could very well be mistaken. But look, the point is that this was in regards this video that I saw. Like I'm thinking that you would point to this, where he's. Well, I guess you're saying you haven't seen it, but then I guess
I don't want. I watch bits and pieces that people send me, other than I don't give a shit because he gets everything wrong. Why would I bother? Would you watch a video from a flat earther telling you the earth is flat when you know it's not right? No, you get tired of it. Nate Brody's shit has been wrong from the get-go. Why would I bother? And I've always said, look, if you got a legit video, if he had one, he could find a philosophy person that knows their shit, Go to Stephen Hoyt, right? Stephen Hoyt would review his video. Go to Malpass, he would review it. Bert Poole would review it. Who else? Josiah Christensen, he would review it. Even Bullinator would review it, right? Anybody could review his video. If somebody that knew philosophy found a video from him that refuted my WASP argument, I'm sure somebody would have told me by now. Nobody ever has. Nobody. Even Seth would have, right? Seth would have loved that. Seth still here?
No.
Well, so nobody ever has. So until that time, it stands. Let me know when people want to argue my WASP argument. But